You're listening to the ColbyCheeZe Gaming Podcast, where I talk about whatever the hell I want, but mostly League of Legends and a bit of Minecraft.
Hey, what's up guys? This is ColbyCheeZe and you're listening to the 9th episode of the ColbyCheeZe Gaming Podcast. Today, it is May 6th, 2011. We've got quite a bit of League of Legends talk today. Lots of champion reworks to go over, as well as some different stat websites that I've found, and some guides to kind of help you learn when to buy armor and different things such as that. A couple of other deals, but I'm just going to jump right into it. And if you want to kind of check out the little topic list and jump into whatever you want to see, go down to the description below and I'll have timestamps there. So anyhow, this week I actually found a really cool set of data from the League of Legends forums, and it compiles the top 2,500 ranked players across the United States and European servers from the last 3 months. And what it does is it finds out basically where the number of wins for a combination of champions is higher on average than any other champions. You know, basically the highest number of wins and losses for a champion combination. So instead of just, hey, which champion has the highest win percentage, it's which two champions being on the same team at the same time have the highest win percentage. And kind of the interesting stat that I saw within this is that Janna is within 11 of these combinations. So looks like it, if you haven't seen the video, you know, win every League of Legends game, then play Janna, then you should watch that. It's definitely true. So the top one, hey, look at there, Karthus Janna. That's interesting, is it not? 70% win percentage whenever you have Karthus and Janna on the same team. Maybe I'm gonna have to start playing some. Okay, no, I'm done. Yeah, gotta start playing some Janna. Anyhow, I'm pretty sure that that after Sona was buffed, she might actually get up on that list too. Just gonna have to wait and see who else is on this list. We've got some Nocturne. Hell yeah, Nocturne. I love my Nocturne, but he's always banned. Wah, wah, wah. Oh well. Got Sion on there, Teemo, Sion Janna, Teemo Janna, Urgot Janna. Hell yeah. Any kind of ranged carry and a Janna was pretty good. Oh yeah. Anyhow, check that out. I'll put the link in there. You can kind of check it out. And if you do a dual queue with a friend, then maybe you should look at this and try and use those combinations to your advantage. Yeah, moving on, we've actually got a little bit of information about the new champion coming out this coming week, Vayne, and they've released her abilities. Actually sounds really fun. I'm super excited to get this champion. I don't usually buy new champions. I'll generally wait, but I don't know, this just sounds like a type of champion that I like to play. She's got great maneuverability, and it seems like she's going to be a great assassin type champion. So let's just kind of go over that really quick, since we don't actually have any gameplay footage of her to really judge, you know, her cooldowns and the damages and the mana cost and whatnot. But so far it looks like on her passive, she's actually going to be able to run faster when she's facing and running towards an enemy champion and she's, you know, close enough. That's pretty cool. It's going to give her the ability to chase people down, not necessarily to run away though. I like that type of mechanic there. She has another ability called Tumble, where she'll actually tumble towards your mouse. So I guess when you cast it, it's kind of like, let's see, kind of like Karthus's Q, in the sense that it just automatically casts to wherever your cursor is. And what she does, it helps her more carefully place her shot. I don't know if it actually shoots anything out or if it just like gives her a positioning ability. Actually, there it is. She actually does extra damage on her next attack, so that's gonna be pretty cool. Be able to tumble in there, do a little bit of extra damage, and probably run back. And then you can do let's see, silver bolts. Now this one sounds pretty damn cool. It's she's gonna tip her bolts, I guess her auto attacks, with some kind of toxic thing that does extra damage on the third consecutive attack or ability that you use against the same target, and it does a percentage of their max HP as bonus true damage. Oh yeah, that sounds pretty cool actually. So it sounds like she's gonna be pretty decent at killing tanks, but doing true damage actually does really well against carries and squishy champions also. So pretty cool overall. And her next one, Condemn, she will do like some type of poppy type ability where she draws out a crossbow from her back and shoots a bolt at them, knocking people back. If you hit them into a wall, it'll actually do bonus damage and stuns them. So exactly like Poppy's, but it sounds like she's ranged rather than having to actually charge at them. So that's freaking awesome. And for her ultimate, this one is what makes her sound really cool, and I hope this cooldown is pretty short as well. Basically, she goes in, it's like a steroid for her, so Vayne will get increased attack damage, and she goes into stealth when she does tumble. So it's kind of like it sounds kind of like a Shaco blink. And then she does quadruple the bonus movement speed from her Night Hunter, which is her passive where she runs faster when she's chasing down enemy champions. Overall, sounds pretty freaking boss if I don't say so myself. She got lots of maneuverability, so kind of like a ranged Shaco Poppy. And she's going to be probably a champion that you build a Trinity Force on, just feels like. And could possibly be good with maybe some Zills or Phantom Dancer due to the increased damage from her different passives and steroids and whatnot. Overall, sounds like a fun champion. I'm going to definitely get her anyhow. And the next thing is a pretty interesting post by Riot saying that they're actually going to take you and one of your friends to Dreamhack. Well, there are some conditions, of course. Yes, you do have to do a little bit of work, and they are only taking one of you and one of your friends to Dreamhack, and only if they choose your video. Basically, what they're doing is a contest where you create a 90-second video where the title is Your Dreamhack Comes True. And essentially, you're just going to be telling them why you think that they should be taking you to Dreamhack. And they're going to choose some winners, and the top one is going to get to go to Dreamhack, and the other people that they choose are going to get some plethora of other Razer gaming accessories such as keyboards, headsets, mouses, gaming services, etc., etc. Really cool stuff. So definitely think that if you have a webcam or a camera or something of that nature, make a video and let them know why you should be the one to go to to Dreamhack. Pretty exciting. I am super stoked for Dreamhack. End of season 1 coming shortly. They've already got their qualifiers in, and we should be coming up right after that championship into a little bit of a season hiatus, I guess, or like an off season or whatever. Of course, we are going to be continuing on with the National Esports League, which I've been casting, and you can always check that out on the nationalesl.com. I stream on Thursdays and Saturdays generally, and I cast those games. If you haven't been watching them, I do have most of them up on my YouTube channel or my website, ColbyCheeZe.com. And there's another video I found, but they actually took it down, and it was with the WCG promotional film talking about the WCG that is going to be held in, I think, Busan, South Korea or something like that. But I don't know why they took it down, so I'll probably just show that next week. Either way, lots of exciting esports news for League of Legends. It's definitely rapidly growing into an extremely popular sport or whatever for esports. I've noticed after watching some of the actual, casts with the Europe versus NA is that Europe is really coming along really well. They're really showing us that they've got their stuff together, and we just need to definitely adapt to some of the changing metas, and that way we don't get behind because they have been doing really, really well. I'm excited to see how CLG and TSM adapt to some of those metas, and I would like to see NA definitely pick up the pace and win some more of those games because I don't want to fall behind. Definitely not. Anyhow, I'm going to be practicing a lot more. I'm ready for season 2, and how about you guys? So whatever, let's move on. This is a link I found on Reddit, which is showing some graphs of armor versus health items and kind of when it's cost effective to buy one or the other. And I guess I'll first start off by saying basically the way armor works is that it increases your effective health by a certain amount. So in other words, if your armor is at 100, then physical damage will be cut in half. So there's a point where armor will start to drop off to where if you have like 200 armor, it's not, 100% damage reduction. It's more like, I don't know, like 75 or I'm not sure the exact number. But so there's a point where actually buying health is a little more cost advantageous than just buying more armor or magic resist or something of that nature. So this graph you can kind of see okay, I'm at what 100 armor. Should I buy health or should I buy more armor? And then you just kind of look at the graph and there you go. You can kind of see what you should be doing. So that's pretty cool. I like little guides like this that kind of give you an idea and an understanding of how the mechanics are going to benefit you within the game. Anyhow, just wanted to throw that out there. Speaking of stats, I did actually find some of you may have heard of a website called lolbase.com or .net, I think, one of those. Anyhow, it tracks stats across games, and you can go and check it out, and there's a lot of different things on there. But there is now a new website out called RiotStats.com, and I don't believe it's actually an official Riot, it just has that name. But the cool thing about Riot Stats is they have an application you can download, and it will automatically upload your log files to lolbase.net and to the Riot Stats database, so you don't actually have to do that manually any longer, which is what you had to do with lolbase. Pretty cool overall. I think that you should definitely check that out and download that application. That way you can, upload those stats to the community, and more stats equals more understanding of how different things play out, and overall it's pretty cool to check out anyways. But moving on, I found a few other posts by some actual Reds, in other words, by the Riot employees, where they're talking about different champion remakes. And I actually found a compilation of the Red post kind of in one thread, and I'll link this here. You can kind of scroll down there and see what people are saying about the different champions. So they'll say, I don't know, I'm just going to read off one to you. They've got like, yeah, Caitlyn, basically one of them said, yeah, we released her too weak, quite enjoy her design and have a blast playing her, but when you need to be the ranged carry for your team and you can't put out, then you're just failing. We're buffing her slowly because we don't want to go overboard, but the buffs are rolling in. And that's definitely true. In the last 3 patches, we have seen some small tweaks and buffs to Caitlyn. I'm definitely excited to see where she's coming. Now, the most exciting remake or buff that I've actually noticed overall is what Shrelia is doing to Kayle. Now, let me tell you one thing. Kayle is probably one of my favorite champions ever, but once they nerfed her, I just didn't really like her. She kind of fell off, and her early game just suffers so bad, but she is an amazing late game champion. One of the great, she's kind of like Nidalee in that she can somewhat carry while being a support. So she's definitely a super hard carry if she's able to get some farm and definitely get some kills. And that's what Shrelia is kind of trying to address. And she has this blog. If you haven't checked it out, she kind of posts things every once in a while. What she's saying she's going to do is basically nerf the passive a little bit, which Kayle's passive allows her to kind of scale her damage based off of both her attack damage and her ability power. And what she's going to do is nerf that a little bit, and then instead make her base values early game much better. And she's going to have Righteous Fury on a 100% uptime if you have max cooldown reduction. And then she's going to give the Q debuff to the entire team. Wow. So think about that. It's kind of like the buff, or not the buff, sorry. It's kind of like the ultimate with Vladimir, except on a single target. That's awesome. So if you're not aware, whenever she shoots somebody with a Righteous Fury, she does increased damage to that target. Now they're going to allow every other champion on your team to benefit from that as well. Wow, very nice. And then they're going to do a little bit of a a ratio change to her heal. It's going to be a medium base amount and a medium AP ratio. So I believe that you won't have to heal that right away to be as effective. And they're not going to change the ultimate. And she is going to give a slight range buff on Righteous Fury as well. Okay, that's awesome, because range alone can make a champion amazing. I'll just say that right off the bat. That's kind of one of the things that made Ryze really strong with this Q, is they did increase the range so much that he can harass so well with it. And then they're just going to do an overall mana cost reduction on her offensive ability. So it's not going to basically remove you from the lane just by using your E spell to last hit minions and whatnot. And that's going to give her the ability to always keep that Righteous Fury up to last hit those minions. And that's really what she needed all around. And so I'm excited about the changes to Kayle. I think I may actually start playing her again. Yes, they did nerf her a little bit, but she's still a powerful champion if played right. Definitely takes a little bit more skill than she did before. And yeah, it's the only champion I've ever gotten a pentakill on. So hell yeah, maybe I'll get another one. So we'll see how that kind of comes along. And I'll go ahead and link that blog to you down bottom if you have not already seen it. So no big deal there. Anyhow, that's pretty much all I had to talk about this week with League of Legends, and I wanted to kind of go over just one or two other things that I found. If you have not played the game Super Meat Boy, then you should check it out. It's a 2D kind of like a platformer skill-based game where you have to run around and get to the end of the level and sometimes pick up some different objectives within that level. And it's really difficult, and it brings you back kind of some nostalgia of those old school platformer games. I really enjoy the game. There's a lot of replayability to it if you like to try and do things faster, or unlock different levels. There's a lot of different levels in there. But anyways, the reason I'm bringing this up is because they just released a level editor for Super Meat Boy, and the team at Super Meat Boy is saying they're not actually going to ever release Super Meat Boy 2. Instead, they're going to give you guys this level editor, and that way basically it's going to be all community driven from this point forward. You can do anything that you saw within the single player missions. Well, they're all single player, but you can do anything that you saw within the missions except for the boss levels. And I think that's going to be pretty cool. I'm sure we'll see a lot of really interesting and creative level ideas out there. So pretty cool. If you haven't already picked it up, then definitely check that game out. And if you're very creative, you might actually decide to do some stuff. And yeah, pretty cool. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was Portal 2 DLC will not cost you anything at all, and that's awesome. In fact, Portal 2 cost just went down. I believe it like Target or Walmart or something like that. The cost is only $30 now. So overall, Portal 2 is a great deal. I've already beat the single player missions. I've beaten the co-op missions as well. And so essentially what they have is they have all these hats that they let you buy in co-op, and I'm thinking the reason they're doing the DLC is they realized that they got everyone spending all this money on these silly hats in co-op, which has no replayability whatsoever, and so they just wanted to do something nice for the community and release the DLC. And I can't remember what all the DLC is going to have within it, but I think it's definitely going to have a lot of new features, such as like leaderboards, I think, and I don't know. To be perfectly honest, I couldn't find the post that talked about all of the actual features that it's going to have in it. But the cool thing is it's going to be more content, more levels, more puzzles for you to figure out. And so that's always a good thing, right? Hell yeah. That's pretty much all I got this week for my gaming podcast, so be sure to check it out. Next week I'll definitely be doing another one, as well as all of my usual videos and casts. I have several videos coming out, and before I let you guys go, I have one question for you though. What do you think about the name of this podcast? Whenever I created it, I didn't really have much plans for it. I just started it. So if I had to name the podcast, what do you guys think I should actually name it? Let's see. I'm talking about League of Legends stuff mostly, and I'll throw in some other gaming stuff in there as well. Haven't really thought of a name that would go well, but maybe you guys can come up with something. So Let me know in the comment section down below, and be sure to subscribe and share with your friends. I'll see you guys around. Peace out. ColbyCheeZe.